Hello, everyone. Welcome to Gen Talks, a podcast where we talk about mindset, listening to our intuition, trusting our gut, channeling our inner voice, our self awareness, love, relationships, emotions. We all have them, but we don't want to talk about them. How to cope with the loss of a loved one and what those healthy coping mechanisms look like, the rules of fitness, and so much more. If you are new here, my name is Jennifer, spelled with two N's, but I'm a Jen that's spelled with one N. I know it's a little complicated, but I like to keep it simple, and that's why it's Jen with one N. If you're coming back because you're curious about these rules of fitness, then welcome back. Either way, I'm happy you're here. Okay, Jen with one N, we get it. Please get to the rules of fitness, please. Okay, whoa. Rule number one, back it up with that suit. Okay. And rule number two, never rush a woman. All right. But I digress. I got to calm down because I have a message to say. I have things to say here. All right. Regarding the rules of fitness, these are rules I have acquired for myself over the past 5 years, and I am so excited to share them with you. As I mentioned in the first episode where I talked about fear and perfection, I started my fitness journey when I was 28. Back in 2019, I started writing about my gym journey, and I'm grateful that 4 years later, I'm able to mentally, physically, and emotionally share it with you all. So let's hop into our DeLoreans from Back to the Future and go back to a time when I was 16, and that was 18 years ago. It's a little spooky. Father Time, can you slow it down a little bit? No? Oh, okay. Well, I tried. Anyway, so buckle up because I'm about to take you on a journey. Since I was 16 years old, I wanted to be fit, but did not know how to get there. In high school, I enjoyed working out with friends, but lacked in the consistency department. Here's a little hint: consistency is one of our rules, but I'll get to that later. Both my mindset and diet were off, thinking I could eat whatever I want and be fit. But that was and still is not the case. I remember in high school, there was a store called the Survival Shop, which was located in the cafeteria where they sold snacks, sodas, water, candy, etc. I remember going there pretty much almost every day after school, and guess what I bought? No, not a protein bar, but good guess. Nope, not a banana. But are you ready? Reese's peanut butter cups and a can of Pepsi. I know. I had the thought of wanting to work out, but be healthy and thin, but didn't have the action to back it up. I was talking the talk, but not walking the walk. So if I'm talking and I'm not walking, nothing is going to happen. It's great having the thought because that's where it all starts. But now you have to take the action to back it up. From ages 16 to 28, my weight fluctuated to where my lowest weight was 120 pounds and the highest was 166 pounds. So, on my Instagram profile at Gen Talks Podcast, you will see a before and after photo. The picture on the left was taken in February of 2018, and the picture on the right was taken in July of 2019. And now we're in May of 2023. I want you to see that this wasn't easy and for you to walk with me on this journey. Fast forward to 2016, I was diagnosed with a thyroid condition called Hashimoto's hypothyroidism, which explained quite a bit. My metabolism was off. I felt tired, sluggish, and did not feel like myself at all. But I'll get to that a little bit later. In the beginning of 2017, I joined LA Fitness where I decided to work with a personal trainer and stayed there for about a year. In March 2018, I started working out with a friend where if she could have it her way, she would work out twice a day. Talk about intense, right? When my gym journey began, I was in the process of finishing my first year of graduate school, and my diet was not the best. I ate burgers, and BurgerFi can attest to this, okay? I had the fries, chocolate milkshakes, scones, bagels, Reese's Big Cups, without even thinking about it. In May 2018, I went on a school trip, and one of my classmates who also has the same thyroid condition sent me a link consisting of foods to stay away from and which ones to eat. When I got back from my trip, I went to a cafe. I ordered a chicken sandwich that has gluten, so gluten is in the bread, and cheese. It's a form of dairy. As I was eating the sandwich, a gym member from LA Fitness came in, and his friend was right behind him. His friend looked at me and immediately asked, "Do you have Hashimoto's?" Looking at him quizzically, I said, "Yes. How did you know?" He explained that he knows a few people that have the same condition and that you have to avoid gluten, dairy, soy, and sugar. After he said that, I looked back at my sandwich and said to myself, okay, time to cut these foods out and I better start cooking for myself. That moment started shifting the way I thought about food and health overall. I started eating 5 to 6 small meals a day and jumped into eating healthy. The combination of changing my diet, boosting my metabolism, and the gym were catalysts for weight loss. And within 6 months, I dropped 35 pounds. During this transformation, I fell in love with working out and became more and more excited to go to the gym, which has now become my second home. Since then, my diet and workouts have changed for the better, but throughout this journey, I did not give up on myself. Throughout all of the hardships that I endured, I kept going because I believe in myself. I believe that if I can do it, if I put the time, attention, and focus into it, if I keep my head down and stay in my lane, I can achieve what I put my mind to. The question is, do you believe in yourself? I know I certainly do. But more importantly, do you believe in you? But now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the rules of fitness. And the first rule is mindset and strength. It all starts with a simple thought, and that one thought creates an emotional connection. Your mind is what drives you forward with your regimen, your diet, and the time and energy you pour into working out. In 2017, before I became serious about the gym, I'm going to be honest and say my head was not in it. I had a personal trainer and I barely wanted to go to the gym on my own time. Working out felt like a chore. And I did not attach any positive thoughts to the gym or to working out. To me, being at the gym was boring. Cardio was torture, and the thought of exercising did not intrigue me. But how do you expect to see results if you don't change your mindset? How do you expect to gain inner strength to fuel you forward in your workouts, to progress, to prove to yourself that you have what it takes to reach your goals? To lift heavier on the days where your body wants to, but you don't want to, but know that you owe it to yourself to do so. When you wake up in the morning and you're getting ready for the gym, what is your monologue? What do you tell yourself as you get dressed? Are you looking forward to it? Are you telling yourself, I have to go to the gym and do cardio and train? Or do you tell yourself, I get to wake up in the morning and go to the gym. I get to have the mental, physical, and emotional ability to handle my workouts. I get to do cardio. I get to work out today. I get to eat healthy and take care of my body. I get to focus on my strength, not just physically, but mentally. I get to move. The mind pushes you forward during each exercise, but it's up to you to decide if you're part of team I have to or if you're part of team I get to. Another piece behind mindset is strength. A lot of people think that when it comes to the gym and the fitness world, strength is solely about the physical component. And that physical strength is something you are born with and it comes naturally. That is not entirely the case, since the physical appearance or the outside shell, meaning your body, is a byproduct of what is really going on in your mind and your heart, meaning your mindset and heart set, or in this case, the mental strength and the emotional strength. Anyone can work out, but it is the mindset that makes the decision. As I mentioned before, I did not have the mental and emotional strength to even want to go to the gym, to get into a routine, to eat healthy and be healthy on the inside and out. I had the thought of losing weight and being thin, but I was not there mentally and emotionally. And that's okay because I'm there now. And I'm grateful for what I endured to get to this very moment. And I get to share this story with you. All right, Jenny, talked about the mental strength piece. Can we get to the emotional part, please? Oh my goodness, you're so pushy today. I'm going. Jeez. Anyway, all right. I'm going to be honest with you because honesty is the best policy. And that is what we practice here on Gen Talks. Okay. I have moments, even to this day, throughout my workouts, where I'm not emotionally and mentally connected to my workout. There are times when I look around the gym and think, how did I get here? Wasn't I here yesterday? Did I have my morning coffee? I know I had breakfast. But this means that I'm not present. And this is how I help myself snap out of it and become emotionally connected with my workout and hone in on my emotional strength. But in terms of getting back to the present moment, at the gym, I look at the weight since it's a still object. And a still object is something that you may have learned about in art class, where you're looking at something that is still because it doesn't move. And it brings you back to your center, to your core, and allows you to be self aware. And a still object does not have to be a weight. It could be a pen sitting on your desk, your glasses, or even that mug that is filled with coffee or tea. But anyway, I look at a still object to help me get out of my mind and in touch with my body and soul. For example, at the gym, I touch a dumbbell and feel how stable and strong it is, how it is slightly cool, rough around the edges, but it stays true to itself and holds on to its identity and stands in its power and truth. Also, no matter what this object goes through, it might be scratched or have a dent, but it stays the same and does not change for anyone or anything. It is rooted to the core, which is where the inner strength lies, and that cannot be altered. I also applied the same thought process when I'm benching for chest with the barbell, since it has its soft sections and slightly rough sections that are used for grip. And when I touch both, I feel that barbell is rough in some areas, but it has this soft and gentle strength to it. I feel connected to it because I tell myself, that's me. I am kind and gentle, but strong as well. And I'm aware of who I am. That no matter what happens in life, I stay true to myself and I keep my inner strength. This subtle power and those thoughts shoot right into my heart space and gives me the emotional strength and courage to keep moving forward with my workout and helps me stay present in the moment. I feel the surge of energy and I'm feeling it now and the electricity rush through my veins as I work out, which helps me not only become strong physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. Another piece of equipment that I have is a kettlebell, which I use to do an exercise called the suitcase. And it's great for stabilizing your core, working your obliques. You can also use a kettlebell to do goblet squats, Russian twists for core, shoulder stabilizers, deadlifts. I feel like this is a Get Fit with Jen program. So something else coming your way. But let's focus here. Okay. So I found out about this exercise by a personal trainer named Jeff Cavalier, aka Athlean X, who is on YouTube, and he actually goes into the mechanics behind exercises. But every time I do the suitcase exercise at the gym and pick up the handle of the kettlebell, I mentally tell myself, lead. Lead with your heart. And no matter how heavy it is, keep pushing no matter what. Those thoughts shoot right into my heart and I feel empowered. That's the emotional piece. And that gives me the energy to keep pushing and to keep moving forward, which also allows me to become physically stronger. But this thought can be applied to anything else you do in life, not just exercising. No matter how hard things get, no matter how many challenges come your way, always lead with your heart and keep moving forward. So you see how both the mental and the emotional pieces connect, right? It is your internal dialogue, the way you talk to yourself, that dictates the present moment, which creates habits that are a catalyst for your future, which leads to the second rule called discipline, which I will start off with a quote. Hunger is the first element of self-discipline. If you can control what you eat and drink, you can control everything else. This is another key ingredient as you work on and acquire your fitness goals. Discipline embodies the idea of control, and for good reason. If you can control your intake and the types of foods you eat, then you can control everything else. Apply this ingredient as a stepping stone into eating healthy, since it will be a catalyst when focusing on diet, portions, staying consistent, which is the third rule, and working out. This will also help you stay on track with your routine because you know that you are owning this part of your fitness journey, and discipline alone already puts you one step ahead and makes you unstoppable. Which leads us into the third rule called consistency. Consistency is key. Consistency ties into your diet, your time, routine, accountability, and it pours into the energy and effort you put into your fitness journey. I cannot state how important this simple word is because consistency allows you to transform this habit into a lifestyle. This rule also embodies being consistent with your diet, your routine, right? How many days a week are you going to the gym? How often are you hitting each muscle? What are the types of workouts that you're doing? It also goes into time. How much time are you devoting to working out? It also goes into your mental, emotional, and physical strength. Consistency links to accountability because if you can hold yourself accountable to complete that project at work, to lead a team, show up for your friends and loved ones, and stay consistent in those aspects of life, then why can't you show up for yourself and focus on your health and well being? As for consistency, when it increases throughout each rule of fitness, your mental, emotional, and physical strength increase. And this becomes a characteristic that no one can change. I feel empowered, don't you? I'm excited. As I mentioned, diet is a big part of consistency, which leads to our fourth rule. Diet is 80% and exercising is 20%. If the diet ain't right, then you ain't tight. If the foods that you are actively putting into your body are not healthy and don't energize you, they will not only slow you down physically, but mentally and emotionally too. Since remember, both the mental and emotional join together to produce the physical. If the mental piece is down, that hinders your emotional strength, which delays you developing your physical strength and it slows you down altogether. When it comes to making changes in your diet, practice gratitude by saying, I'm grateful I get to. Remember, I get to take care of my body and I get to eat healthy. Because the fact that you get to is a gift within itself. For example, this is very true. I get very excited when I make breakfast in the morning because I am hungry as soon as I get up. But I'm pumped that I actively get to make my own breakfast and eat healthy. I tell myself in the morning that I'm grateful that I get to eat my spinach because I need my Popeye arms. Okay. I need to saute my carrots, make my hard boiled eggs, and and some egg whites too, and oatmeal. And I get to have my morning coffee. And it has to be black with no cream and no sugar. Okay. I get right to the point here with my coffee, just black. But I'm grateful for these moments because remember, as I mentioned in the beginning of this episode, I didn't have these thoughts 5 years ago. I literally was eating very high carb, over processed foods that left me feeling hungry after an hour of eating them. Talk about a downward spiral. But hey, I broke free and I know you can too. So if I can stay consistent with my diet, make the mental switch, and naturally go down the path of eating healthy, I know you can too. Remember, one step at a time, one small substitution, and one foot in front of the other. During the beginning of grad school, I was eating 3 meals a day, but switched to eating 5 to 6 small, healthy meals a day, and ate every 2.5 hours to wake up my metabolism and signal my hunger cues. I started cooking simple meals for myself, such as making a fish, could be salmon because of its healthy fats, or whitefish for a lean source of protein. Also had chicken, and I also incorporated brown rice for a carb or steamed sweet potato, a little bit of avocado for healthy fats, and a steamed vegetable. I still eat similar foods, but sometimes I will eat different types of vegetables or fruits to kind of shake things up because, hey, we all need a little bit of variety in our lives, right? Okay, that's great, but what do I eat? Well, eat the foods that align with your goals, fuel your body, and help you push forward. When I come back from the gym, I have a post workout snack, which is a hot chocolate that I like to make with oat milk that I heat up on the stove top, and I throw in vanilla protein pea powder. A lot of scoops here, okay? You ready? A scoop of L-glutamine, a scoop of creatine, collagen, and I sprinkle about a half a bottle of cinnamon. I'm a big cinnamon fan, and a little pinch of turmeric. That goes with a cup of blueberries or half of a banana and a peanut butter chocolate chip lar bar. So I can have a combination of protein, healthy fats, and fruit, which holds me over to my next meal. Another tip: eat clean, lean, and know what's in your food. Check those ingredients. I cannot stress that enough because that protein bar that you think is healthy has ingredients that you can't even pronounce, like bisodia carba. Like, what is that? Now I have to go research that. I don't have time for that. No, thank you. Okay. Always read the labels. Something else you can do is if you want to look into your macros for protein, carbs, and fats, you can check out the MyFitnessPal app to look into those and also your caloric input. Sometimes I use the app, but I actually don't use it too often since I know that I'm putting healthy foods into my system. Also, don't skip a meal. When you are training your muscles, right, you need fuel to grow. Even if you don't feel hungry after a workout, eat. Stay consistent. In the beginning of my journey and even now, I weigh out my food so I can stay on top of it. And I know what my portion of protein is and also my portion of carbs and fats. For example, for breakfast, I eat 3 hard boiled eggs and 2 egg whites too, because I know that each egg is equivalent to one source of protein, because each egg is about 7 grams, which is 1 ounce of protein or one portion of protein. I don't think I've ever said protein so many times before in my life. Whew, all right. But the key is to stay consistent and eat healthy foods that you enjoy. For example, let's say you hate salmon. The flavor is off, it smells a little weird. And that's okay because I was not a salmon fan growing up, but ate it because my dad made it for my mom. Don't get me started on that one. But I love it now. Anyway, an alternative could be eating a lean white fish, such as tilapia or flounder, right? You can throw a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper with some lemon juice, and bada bing, bada boom. You have yourself a flavorful source of healthy protein. And now this is a cooking show. We're just doing it all today, right? But back to the podcast. Diet links to consistency and a healthy lifestyle, which can also be applied to when you go out to eat and not just when you're meal prepping and eating at home. For example, when I go out to eat, in my mind, I tell myself I need a source of protein, carbs, and a vegetable. And I look at the menu to see if there's an entree that appeals to me that has that. If, for example, it has a protein, a vegetable, and no carbs, I look at the sides and find the healthiest option. But be patient with yourself and give yourself time to form this habit. And remember, this will become second nature and you won't have to worry. So, while you hone in on your diet, cravings will show up. It's funny because even now I don't crave desserts or burgers or fries and all that crap I had years ago because I got used to eating healthy and became very consistent with it. Even now, if I were to take one small bite of a Reese's peanut butter cup, I taste the film and how, plasticky and that like weird taste. And I think I made up a word, but it also tastes pretty chemically too. When you change your diet for the better and stay consistent, you will stop craving foods that you had in your previous life and look forward to the foods that take care of your body. I'm not going to lie, okay? Sometimes I order dessert when I go out to dinner because my whole mouth is kind of one sweet tooth. But I have a few bites for the flavor and texture, and then I'm good in the hood. In the past, I ate the whole thing, and I don't do that anymore. And that brings balance in my life. But this rule will take time to implement, and I know you'll get there. Which links to our fifth rule called time. Time is another key ingredient in the rules of fitness. And you'll see in a second. I'm just on a roll today, making myself laugh. All right. So, when it comes to this T word, give yourself time to get into a routine, forming healthy eating habits, meal prepping, developing and maintaining a workout routine, and also give your body time to get used to the workouts and to feel the progress. Remember, Rome was not built in a day. All good things happen over time, and the true test is to keep pushing even when the results do not show right away. Always move forward and give yourself time to get used to the workouts, to lifting a certain amount of weight, lifting heavier, building endurance, and gaining strength, not just physically, since that is the bonus, that's a byproduct, but mentally and emotionally. Fitness is also a sacrifice of your time, but there are two paths to choose from. You can either spend your time by binge watching a TV show when in the back of your mind, you know you should be going to the gym and taking care of your health, but you ignore your inner voice and get upset with yourself because you didn't listen. And that sounds like a downward spiral to me. Or you can listen to that inner voice and decide to dedicate your time at the gym where you're focusing on you, your health, well being, and you feel accomplished. Two different paths, right? But I think you know which one to take. Something else to ask yourself is that TV show really going to help me with my goals? And these goals don't have to, be entirely linked to fitness, but to other things you might be working on. Just a thought. So, we're going to jump into the sixth rule, which is focus. But before we do, here is a story. It's one of my favorite ones. Here, right? Buckle up. During November 2018, I signed up for a gym membership with Larry, who was one of the associates at the gym that I go to, which has now become my second home. And I remember being told that there are two different types of members at this gym. The first type are the members that come together to the gym, they go to the gym and they socialize, right? It's more of a community setting. The second type of members are the ones that come in, they put their heads down, and they get to work. And I remember this vividly. As soon as Larry described the second group, something in the right corner of my mind clicked. And I mentally told myself, I'm going to be the second type. Ever since then, as I open the doors to the gym, I tell myself that this is my house and I own it. The point of the story is understanding, why are you going to the gym? Are you going to pass the time? Are you going to chit chat and say that you went to the gym? Are you there for someone else? Or are you there to focus on you? To focus on your health mentally, physically, and emotionally, to get stronger each and every day, to prove to yourself that every time you pick up a weight, you are transforming yourself into the person that has been waiting to show itself to the world. Also, don't compare yourself to anyone and focus on what you are doing. Remember, you are there for you and to take care of yourself. Don't worry about everyone else and focus on you. The key here is to focus. Focus, 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 and you will become. Focus, 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 and you will transform. Never let anything stand in your way, and focus. Me personally, I don't compare myself to anyone because I don't know what their past is, how long they've been working out, and what really goes on behind the scenes. My main goal is to focus on becoming stronger mentally, physically, and emotionally so I can transform myself into the woman I choose to be. But focus can also be applied to the seventh rule of fitness, which is routine. In regards to routine, have an action plan every time you walk through the door. This step will help you mentally create a list of exercises you will knock out while you're there. I see members walk into the gym sometimes looking around trying to figure out which machine or piece of equipment to use. This only causes you to lose time, focus, energy, and often deters you from coming back. Especially when you are starting out, keep in mind what you want to hone in on and gently work yourself into it. And don't worry if it feels a little weird or kind of foreign the first time. The key is to have a routine, even though it's hard or you're tired. I promise that once you start and stick to it, you won't stop. And how powerful is that? Keep in mind, it takes time for the results to show, but don't worry about those. The results will show over, you said it, time. You guys are great, okay? AKA the fifth rule. And the important part of this is to start a routine and stick to it. Focus, or the sixth rule, on getting mentally and emotionally stronger, sticking to a routine, and the physical appearance will show. I don't know who is listening, but if this resonates with you, I'm cheering you on. Me personally, I like getting up early in the morning because I take care of myself and prioritizing my health before everything, which is a form of self love and self care. If that means I have to get up at 2, 3, 4, or 5 in the morning to go to the gym, I'll do it. No excuses. But Jen, this is too hard. I don't want to get up early in the morning and go to the gym, and I'm tired after work. Okay. Ask yourself this question and let your inner voice speak for you since it doesn't lie. Are you happy with where you're at? I think you know the answer. The things we want most in life are the hardest, and when it gets tough, we don't get the results immediately, or as it's called, immediate gratification. You're being tested. Tested to see how much you want it. So my other question to you is, do you want to give up on yourself and stay the same? Or do you want to prove it to yourself that you can stick to a routine? That no matter how hard anything in life gets, and this does not just pertain to working out, but no matter how hard or challenging something is, that you can fight through it and make it out on the other side, that you can achieve what you set your mind to. Just something to keep in mind as we continue today. And I am fired up. I'm fired up today, okay? Because I want you all to succeed. All right. Anyway, Here's some other questions to think about. How many times a week are you going to the gym? And what are you working out every time you go? Are you going 4 times, 5 times, 6 times a week? Hitting each muscle once or twice a week? How many minutes are you doing cardio? Are you working your core? Oh, you're probably thinking, Jen, well, enough of the questions. Like, calm down. I haven't even started. I'm staying calm, but these questions are designed to help you think about your routine and how to plan it out. You don't have to have all the answers right away, but just keep them in mind. Also, have an action plan and conquer it. Do what you enjoy. For example, when it's time for cardio, you can use the elliptical machine. You can power walk on the treadmill with a no incline or an incline. You can run, jog, use a Stairmaster or a stationary bike. Me personally, running and I do not, and I repeat, do not get along. And I like to hit the treadmill and go on a power walk at an incline to challenge myself. But the moral of the story is do what is best for you as long as you're getting it done. Something I like to do is superset because I like to always be in movement. For example, let's say today I'm working back and biceps. I start with 15 minutes of cardio and do a power walk on the treadmill at a high speed and an incline. After that, I superset between the back row machine and the lateral pull down because I like to move and I feel faster and unstoppable. But that is my preference. Sometimes I do one machine at a time and it depends. But the point is, do what is right for you and give yourself time to get into a rhythm. Routine also ties into our eighth rule, which is patience. As you're working on your routine, be patient with yourself in the process. This is a journey and it will happen as long as you stay consistent and put the time and energy into it. When I joined LA Fitness, I lacked patience, and since I did not see results right away, I didn't have the drive. I remember one of my dear friends, Cody, telling me that you have to love yourself and love your body each step of the way, and where it's at in this very moment. I carry his words with me everywhere I go. Looking back, I had a lack mentality. The opposite would have been for me to say to myself, you're just starting out and it's going to take time. But my mindset was not there. The moral of the story is be patient. Be patient with understanding form. Be patient with getting used to a new diet, getting into a routine, getting into a rhythm with your workouts. Be patient with the process because those who are patient and those who fight for it win every single time. As I mentioned earlier, there'll be moments during your workouts when you're not mentally and emotionally connected, but that's okay because that passes. It does not mean that you need to stop going to the gym and quit your fitness journey. It just means that your mind may be preoccupied with something else, and that's okay. It's okay if you're not on point all the time during your workouts because maybe you're working while you're at the gym or going through something emotionally that is kind of bogging you down. But it's okay because it happens to all of us. And the key takeaway is that you made it to the gym and that you're there. Sometimes I'm thinking about everything else under the sun, okay? But I'm patient with myself because I'm not going to be charged up every day. So keep going, be patient with yourself, the process, and the journey. I'm going to tell you flat out, sometimes I'm not able to lift the same weight that I am able to actually on most days. For example, let's say I'm doing the leg extension machine, and on the days I lift heavy, I'm able to reach a pretty high weight. But there'll be moments where I drop the weight down to a lower number because maybe my body is tired that day or I didn't get enough sleep. But that's okay. And this will happen to you too. If your body is signaling to you that the weight may be too heavy, it doesn't mean that you'll never be able to lift it. Instead, your body is telling you, not right now, but later. I may not be able to lift this heavy now, but if I keep at it, I will. Which leads to the ninth. Oh, I'm sad to say this. I know you're sad too. The final rule, and I'm sad because I could talk about this stuff all day long, but the final rule of fitness is listening to your body, aka self awareness. Over the past year, I've become more in tune with what my body is telling me and not forcing it to work out when honestly, it really needed a break. Last year, I operated under a dichotomy way of thinking, meaning black or white, and there was no balance in between. I remember going through a period where my mind completely took over and I had to work out 6 days a week or bust. And I had to stick to that routine even if I got up at 2 in the morning. 2 in the morning. I'm not even kidding you. A few months ago, I remember my early morning gym alarm going off. And I remember this really, really well. When I was about to get out of bed, I heard my legs say to me, "We're tired." And honestly, I never heard that before. I was nervous because the idea of taking a rest day on a day where I usually don't take one scared me. The black and white thinking entered my mind, and I thought that if I didn't go to the gym, then I was not as serious about fitness as I thought I was, or I was a fraud. When in reality, my body was literally saying to me, the way you're operating is not working for you. Getting up at 2 a.m. when you're only getting 6 hours of sleep at night is something that you cannot maintain for the long term, girl, okay? So I stopped ignoring the signs my body was telling me and slowly started becoming more in tune and self aware with the message my body was conveying, that if I need to take another day to rest, then do it. I eventually broke out of the black and white or the dichotomy way of thinking and brought balance in my life. Or if I take another day to rest, then that's okay because I have one body and I have to take care of it, and I know the gym will be waiting for me tomorrow. Even now, I find myself missing the gym on my rest days and can't wait to go back the next day. And I know that will happen for you too. Stay the course, stay focused, and disciplined with your diet and routine. Give yourself time and patience and be consistent in all areas. And remember, everyone has their start somewhere, but the key is to start. As we end on the ninth and final rule and move into our nota bene, which is Italian for note well piece of this episode, remember to be patient with yourself, your body, and the process. Listen to your body. Give yourself time to get into routine and develop a rhythm with your workouts. Consistency is linked to discipline, which connects to diet, how often you work out, your mindset, and your mental and emotional and physical strength. The more consistent you are, the stronger you will become, and the more you'll be able to focus on creating a better you. Practice saying out loud to yourself, I have to work out today versus I get to work out today. And see which phrase gives you positive energy. See which phrase lifts your soul and listen to it. And never let anything stand in your way. When you're not present at the gym, give yourself some grace and look at a still object, such as a dumbbell, a kettlebell, or a barbell, and touch it. Feel the parts that are composed of metal and parts that are made of rubber. But more importantly, feel the energy exuding from it. Tune into your thoughts and see how they transform you for the better and how they drive you physically. Keep in mind that you're building up your mental, emotional, and physical strength, and this is something that no one can take away from you. So, if I seem a little bit riled up today, I'm sorry I had a little too much caffeine, but it's only because I believe that anyone can do anything they set their mind to, especially when it comes to fitness. Until next time on Gen Talks, where we talk about how to cope with the loss of a loved one and what those healthy coping mechanisms look like. If you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to like, comment, share, and or subscribe on YouTube, and to also like and follow on Spotify. Or if you want to follow me along on Instagram, you can find me at Jen, you got it, with one N, Talks, TALKS podcast. Thanks for tuning in, but more importantly, thank you for being you. Wishing you all peace, light, and love. Stay tuned. Take care until next time.